Three. Fuck. All right, we live. All right, we live. Um, what's going on, everybody? Super Goshen, I'm back. I've been gone for a minute. I ain't gonna lie, I messed that up. We're gonna take a slight break, detour from the assessment of the gateway process. Again, I'm gonna have to redo that entire thing. So I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna read something else interesting. I learned a lot from that though, so I will revisit that. That is the goal. But for the time being, we're going to share the screen. And I wanted to talk about this. I thought it was something interesting to read. Um, about the court ruling, the attempt to halt Bruce's Beach land transfer rejected. All right, and what this is, and it'll go into a brief history, but I'll just brief it, right? If that makes sense. Um, back in the early 1900s, this family, the Bruces, they bought this beachfront property, I believe, and or land, and it got taken. It got taken from them illegally, and all these years later, literally, well, I can say literally, but I think it's I think it's truly close to 100 years later. They finally get their home. I mean, not the home, but the land, right? Beach land back, and some douchebags tried to, um, hold it. So, and it was rejected. So, um, let me go ahead and read this. This is something I want to kind of keep up with the times, right? So there's something cool. Um, for research, this is just one of the articles. Out. There are multiple articles. No, this is just one of the many. I should post more of those articles. Actually, I should probably do a video. All right, that's something else. So this is by the Easy Readers News, Easy Reader. And so again, court ruling attempt to halt Bruce's beach land transfer rejected. All right. And this is by Mark McDermott. I apologize if I pronounced that wrong. This is right here. Right, this is the site where Bruce's Beach was historically located at 26, and the Strand and Manhattan Beach is currently in use as a LA County Lifeguard Administrative Building. Wow. Okay, nice. All right. Oh yeah. Let me see if I could zoom this in for y'all. Hopefully y'all can read that. Um. A legal attempt to block the land transfer at Bruce's Beach was rejected this week by a Superior Court judge who ruled that returning the land to descendants of the Bruce family does not constitute a gift of public funds. Mhm. Joseph Wright, an attorney from Palos Verdes Estates, filed a complaint with the court in November seeking an injunction against the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. Ryan argued that the land transfer does not serve a public purpose, and a state law recently enacted to enable it, SB 796, is therefore unconstitutional under California law. The Bruce family joined the county in defending against the lawsuit. What? Interesting. Judge Mitchell Beckloff, in a ruling issued April 14, rejected Ryan's argument, paving the way. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Judge Mitchell Beckloff, in a ruling issued April 14, rejected Ryan's argument, paving the way for the land transfer. The Bruces are expected to take ownership of the land within months. The judge wrote that redressing a past government wrong in order to remedy racial discrimination serves a public purpose. Valid argument, huh? Let me see. I lost where I was. My bad. Okay. Righting a government wrong perpetrated in breach of our core and fundamental constitutional principles works to strengthen governmental integrity, represents accountability in government, and works to eliminate structural racism and bias, Beckloff wrote. The government's act of rectifying a prior egregious wrong based on racism fosters trust and respect in government. Damn right it does. The history and potential reconciliation of the land has been in the spotlight since the activist movement Justice for Bruce's Beach arose 2 years ago and earned the attention of Supervisor Janice Hahn, who prior to recent redistrict, redistricting, I apologize for that, represented the area. In 1912, Charles and Willa Bruce purchased the beachfront property and built a small resort catering to the black community throughout Los Angeles. They faced immediate backlash from their neighbors, including one of the city's founders, George Peck, who on the first Sunday after the opening of the Bruce's Lodge placed constables and barriers on the beach that required black beachgoers to walk a half a mile to reach the ocean. Damn, boy, y'all some douchebags. The Bruces nevertheless built a thriving business and attracted a small community of other black homeowners on the same block over the next decade. In 1927, the city utilized the power of eminent domain to acquire the land at market value from the Bruces and the other black families, as well as from adjacent white property owners who had not built on their parcels. The City of Manhattan Beach's History Advisory Board uncovered correspondence from city leaders at the time and a later admission by a former member of the city's board of trustees showing that the taking of the land had been racially motivated. Beckloff referenced this history in his ruling, writing that where the government finds it previously acted as the perpetrator of racial discrimination to the private citizens of its property, public trust in our institutions and democracy is severely damaged. As argued by the board during the hearing, redressing past acts of discrimination as well as preventing such acts in the future benefits the whole of the community and its general welfare. The public purchase served by SB 796 is direct and substantial. Hans said the judge's ruling was unsurprising but gratifying. When we return this property to the Bruce family, we will be making history and righting a century-old injustice, she said. I was not surprised when a lawsuit was filed to stop us, but I am also not surprised that the judge ruled in our favor. His ruling is powerful and it speaks to why our effort to return Bruce's Beach is not only lawful but will rebuild trust in government and help repair the damage done by this historic injustice. Ryan did not respond to a request for comment. He drew attention 4 years ago for his practice of raising Confederate battle flags over his PVE home, which upset some neighbors. He is a Civil War buff who publishes a blog called Joe Ryan's American Civil War. Why did I just botch that? Okay. He is a Civil War buff who publishes a blog called Joe Ryan's American Civil War. In a 2018 Daily Breeze article about his Confederate flags, Ryan noted that he also flies Union flags and said that he is simply trying to bring attention to the racial underpinnings of American history. I do not really give a damn about the politics of liberal idiots who want to look at a flag and say, oh, that's racist, Ryan told the Daily Breeze. The last person you can call a racist is me. Ryan argued that the land transfer violated California Constitution in reference a California Supreme Court ruling in 1893 case called Coughlin versus the Board of Supervisors. An appropriation of money by the legislator for the relief of one who has no legal claim, therefore must be regarded as a gift, and is nonetheless a gift that is sufficient motive appears for its appropriation. If the motive does not rest upon valid consideration, the 1893 court ruling reads, adding the moral consideration or demands resting merely upon some equitable consideration or idea of justice, which is an individual acting in his own right, would be upheld, are insufficient as basis for making appropriation of public monies. That don't make sense. They do have legal claim. The fact that the Bruce family has legal claim throws that entire thing out the window, right? Tell me if I'm wrong on that. But it says in the first part that relief for one who has no claim. I'm assuming they're talking about the Bruce family wouldn't have no legal claim for the land or the property. They had legal claim and it was illegally taken. That's legal claim, huh? Or something in that area. Regardless, Judge Beckloff wrote, the Supreme Court has also established that there is no gift of public property. If a direct and substantial public purchase is served and non-state entities are benefited only as an incident to the public purpose. That was confusing to read. He also stated that this case is different from the Cochran case because government wrongdoing was not at issue. In contrast, as to the Bruces, the legislature found the city had committed a grievous act of racial discrimination to eliminate the Bruces' presence and the presence of other black patrons at the beach in the city, he wrote. It used its police of power of eminent domain to condemn Bruce's Beach under the pretense of building a park. The legislature found the true purpose for condemning the land was illegitimate and an act of racial discrimination, clearly not a legitimate purpose, a legitimate, clearly not a legitimate public use under the takings clause. An appeal seems likely. The judge acknowledged as much at the end of his 15-page ruling. Petitioner's request for a stay is denied, he wrote. While the board prepares the judgment, petitioner has sufficient time to prepare to prosecute his approval. Martin Estrada, a partner from the law firm Munger, Tolles, and Olson, who represented the family in this matter, said the next step is to actually get the land back to the Bruce family. Judge Beckloff's ruling affirms the right of the state and county to return the property to the beach heirs in recognition of the grave injustice committed 100 years ago. Like I said in the beginning, 100 years, bro, that's crazy. Estrada said, we are heartened by the court's decision and hope that there will be no further delays in this historic and long overdue return of Bruce's Beach to the Bruce family. We have been patiently waiting to get our family's property returned and are grateful to the court for its decision, said Dwayne Yellowfeather Shepard, a relative of the Bruce family who has served as their spokesperson. We call on the county to act promptly to take another historic step and return the property to the Charles and Willa Bruce family without further delay. Dwayne Yellowfeather Shepard. Oh, that's it. So that was that. Again, I should probably read a whole nother article just to get more of a reference point. But that was it. Shout out to this family. Shout out to the Bruces. Like I said, the next step is to get y'all property back that was illegally taken. So kudos to you guys. And To anybody else who is looking into this, again, I'll have this article in the description. So I'll see y'all later. I can stop. Yeah. All right. So boys out. Nana nana.